The Thunder's here in Detroit after a couple days off on the road, 3 games against Eastern Conference foes as they take on the Pistons, who have been surging this year. I've got Lou Dort here alongside me. And Lou, you guys are coming off a big time win against the defending champions, but you all for years have been so great about getting back to 0-0, getting to neutral. What are some keys here as you face a Pistons team that you haven't even seen all season when you're coming off an emotional win?
Yeah, like you said, having that same mentality. Pistons is a team that's been having a pretty good season. They're a really physical team. They feel really fast. So we just got to stay locked in on our scouting report.
Everything coming out of the game in Boston was that you guys were the more physical team. It's something that the Celtics said after the game. When you mention Detroit and their level of physicality, what are some keys for you all in making sure that they feel you all first?
Stick to our game plan. Really, play the way that we've been playing all season, and really, they have pretty big bigs, and they really, crash and are really good in the paint. So we just got to take care of that.
You guys have not seen Cade Cunningham yet this season. He's changed quite a bit over the years. Is a guy that's likely going to see a lot of him in the matchup. What are some keys as you try to fight over screens, stay in front of him, given his size?
Yeah, like you said, stay in front of him. He's having a great season. He's really crafty. He's doing a good job at winning the game. So gotta just make everything tougher. And
You are such a student of this game, and Detroit is a team that maybe doesn't get a lot of national buzz, but they've got a guy in Malik Beasley who's probably having one of the very best 3-point shooting seasons in the entire NBA. As you look at the team defense, what are you most proud of in terms of the way that you guys have been able to handle big time 3-point shooters within your shell?
yeah, just really be up there. Like you said, he's having a great season. He's a great shooter, and he's gonna let it fly. So anytime that we got somebody in front of him, you got to be up and make sure that we make him drive.
We've seen your shooting, your scoring, your attacking, and this is consistent for years now. Uh, You told us the other night, I'm ready. I'm always ready. Have you always had that mindset? Is that something that you've developed over the course of time? Because there's no hesitation, there's no fear when you get the ball.
Yeah, that I always had that mindset. That's just how confident I am. But it started with the team first, and what the coaching staff has like put it in me and stuff like that. So they really helped me develop that at the same time, and they have a lot of confidence in me as well. So whenever I'm out there on the court, I just gotta be myself.
Sometimes I think about the years that you spent playing a ton of on ball. I mean, basically some point guard possessions for this team. When teams start to trap Shea or J Dub and others, how critical are these skills that you've developed over the course of your life to be able to be that playmaker for this team playing 4-on-3?
Yeah, it's big. We at the point in the season where, they're gonna throw a lot of stuff at Shea, and then us out there, we got to be ready for any outcome. So like you said, the years has kind of developed that on my side, but whenever I got the ball and I had the chance to make it the right play, I'll do it.
The last thing I want to ask you about is the fact that you guys clinched a playoff berth the other night in Boston. What's the feeling around that, knowing that there's still so much of the season left to go, but obviously a huge accomplishment for the youngest team in the league?
Yeah, to not get distracted, honestly, it's good. Thinking about like the past year, how tough it was and where we are right now. But I think, yeah, not really get distracted. Really finish the season strong and see what we can get better at. For the full season.
Yeah, you guys have shown great resilience, persevered through every challenge. Lou, good luck out there tonight.
Thank you.
All right, that's Lou Dort. I'm Nick Gallo, and this is Thunder Basketball.
Alex, this is a unique situation. Playing Detroit, haven't played them yet this season. Just how unique is this situation? Not playing a team until the middle of March here.
Yeah, the schedule every year is a little wacky. In some spots, you play like we played Denver 2 games at the beginning of the year, and then didn't play them until the end of the year, and then we played them on back to back. So that's just how the schedule shakes out some years. But playing in this late in the season, I think both teams kind of have a full grasp on the identity that they want to play at. So we've gotten at least a good bit of film to watch and see how they play. Obviously, we know Cade's playing at an all-star level this year, and he's really kind of taken a jump in just his pace and his control of the game. So just trying to focus on him, and then obviously they got a good team surrounding him.
Yeah, they're a team that's obviously playing well, but hasn't gotten a ton of national attention. What's important for you guys defensively, going up against them, kind of slowing them down and handling their physicality?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I played them 4 times for the last 3 years, so I know kind of what brand of basketball they want to play, even though they've had, less success in the past than they have this year. But they're just finally putting it together because that was their their mantra from the jump from when I was in Chicago. Just being physical, being tough, playing high energy, and kind of having like a bold attitude and mentality towards what they want to try and get done and how they want to present themselves.
Now, if you mention your familiarity with them and that they've had an identity for some time, obviously they made it last year. Like they had one of the worst losing season in recent memory. Now they're firmly in the playoffs. Like what have you seen as far as when you're trying to film on the biggest differences and maybe just from afar the culture, if there are any differences since last year?
I mean, they've got better players. Like that helps. Having good players is always a key part of it. Cade's taking a step each year. They've had a couple guys surrounding them that have hung around, but like they got, they picked up Dennis in a trade, picked up Tobias Harris, who's a good vet, has been around the league. Tim Hardaway's been in the league for a long time. Malik Beasley even has maybe 6, 7, however many years. So they just got guys that have played in the league, so they have a little more familiarity with the NBA and how the game's played. And then you put that around, young talent, and it's not surprising to see they're having success.
And you mentioned a guy like Malik. He's having a really interesting season, just the efficiency and everything. For you, obviously, you're on a lot of like on ball guys. Like, what are the biggest challenges for a guy who moves like that in spots on?
Yeah, I mean, just the unpredictability of it. Like he takes probably upwards of like 9 threes a game, 10 threes a game, and anybody in the league that does that, they get him in transition, they get him in set plays, they do it, they kind of mask it, put him in plays as a screener, and then come off action. So it's just about kind of staying locked in and being prepared to move when they move, and kind of knowing the game. Like if they're in the paint, that they're not going to be there very long.
What pops out when you watch game tape on Cade compared to seasons past?
His pace is really slowed down. He started. I saw it last year a little bit, just playing against him his first year, and then last year, he's a big guard. Right? He's like 6'7", probably 200 some pounds. Like he gets you on your hip, and then just kind of gets to that 10-foot little floater. He can post up on smaller guys, and then this year he's shooting the 3-ball well, which is I think really complementing the rest of his game.
Did he remind you of anyone you've seen since you've been in the league?
Or
maybe before then. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to throw out too many comparisons, but like just with his size and his skill set, he's got a little bit of Luka. Like obviously Luka's a very special, unique player. Like he's got 6 first teams or 5 first teams in his first however many years in the league. Like that's a high standard, but he's got a little bit of that. Just big guard, main handler. Can shoot, can post up, good at drawing fouls, kind of play in the mid-range too. Like he's got a little bit of everything.
You mentioned him getting guys on his hip. Shea has really developed that hostage dribble, getting guys kind of back behind him. How have you seen Shea utilize that move and kind of being able to hold up action in the lane?
Yeah, it's good just to use guys' aggressiveness against them because everyone's so concerned, obviously, with great players. So Shea is one of them. Of him getting downhill and getting to the paint. So anytime that they get that advantage, it just slows the game down and allows them to kind of make the reads, whether it's get into a spot to take a jumper, get to the rim, or throw a pass to somebody else. It's just he does a really good job of just getting the advantage and then keeping it.
Do you know JB Bickerstaff at all? I know you
Just
played
playing
against
against them, yeah. No.
Yeah. He just seemed to has made a pretty significant difference here in Detroit, and was wondering if
he did that in Cleveland too. They didn't get over the hump. I think they wanted to postseason play, and that's probably what led to a little bit of that. If I had to guess, but that Cleveland team, they kind of the same formula here. They drafted well, a couple bigs, made a couple trades for some veteran guys. They Donovan was a pickup, but Cade's kind of the same thing where you get a main guy, an all-star, and then formulate a team around him. JB, had success with him there, and he coaches, from what I've seen, the same way here that he did there.
What did you see the other night at lineup to start the second, where it was Chet, iHeart, I believe Ooze, Patient, and Joe. It just felt like Chet was able to do some things that he hasn't since he's been back. Obviously, it's only been 10, 11 games. What'd you see that maybe allowed him to play so free, or for what that brought out of him?
I think playing against great competition always brings the best out of yourself. obviously Chet's a phenomenal player. Like we've all seen that. Y'all have seen that more than me firsthand up close. But you know, he didn't have a great game, second game against Denver, and I think that was heavy on his mind. I think he wanted to come out and play well. And then just, you know, for him, it's just about being aggressive. Like we said, like I don't know how many games he's played since he's been back from the injury, but each game he's getting a little more fluid, you know, moving a little better, starting to look like his old self where he's just, you know, that impossible guard of being able to shoot threes, but also take the ball inside and he's 7'3" and just put it in the rim. I think that, you know, sometimes it's force of habit, you know, and Dub's out, it's going to force him to be more aggressive for us just by nature. And sometimes that's what guys need to just get back into their rhythm and get back to playing their best basketball.
You're not the first to sort of mention it. He didn't play too well in Denver, and that may be leaking into the other night. What have you come to learn is about his competitive fire and what those sort of things we know?
Yeah, I'm hesitant to say didn't play too well. He didn't shoot the ball well, like he didn't make shots.
Right.
And some of that was just, you know, first back-to-back. There's you say whatever you want about it, but the competitor that he is, you know, he's always got a basketball with him. Dude's a tireless worker. He's competitive with himself, and I think that's one of the biggest positive attributes you can have as an NBA player is being really competitive with yourself and holding yourself to the standard that you want to be years from now, or you want to be next month, or you want to be, you know, tomorrow, rather than where you are right now. Because at the end of the day, everyone in the league, you got to get better. You know, there's 60 plus new guys every year. If you don't get better, someone's going to pass you up. And having that self-motivation and intrinsic motivation is a big deal.
Adios. Thank you.